Everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'm going to give you my financial opinions as we go through it. If you need any help with anything, check out finding-value.com. We do have a discount going on called Holidays right now. We do have a training session coming up at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Thursday. Since people have the week off, I figured I can throw a training session in for anybody who wants to attend it. It will be training on a variety of things, but mainly the three pillars: ratios, market conditions, and technical analysis, and tying everything together, strategies, looking at individual companies to show you where I had entry points, why I had those entry points, and what it looked like, what it felt like, and all that stuff. Yeah, definitely join and attend the training if you're interested. All right, so let's dive in here. Let's see what's going on today. We've got the DXY, and again, we are at that support level, and it looks like it's trying to break through that support to the downside. We've got that type of look where we get large selling pressure days all sprinkled out through here. And this is a little continuation pattern there. And we are coming into that support level. And we are starting to get into that support level right now. So momentum's to the downside, and we'll see if that support level will hold. Right now, we're getting right into it. We were down 0.23%. Looking at yields, the short end of the curve was holding steady. It was up 0.72%, holding steady at the moment. There's no bounce here. And we've got massive selling pressure days sprinkled in through this, which means we're in a downtrend. That's what those large selling pressure days. And I don't see that turning yet. So I think that we could see further downside pressure on the 2-year, which is possible there. The 10-year was down 0.4%. The momentum is definitely to the downside. It's trying to make an upward type move here, but it hasn't broken the downtrend yet. It's just been kind of slowing the downward move and trying to turn, but it hasn't turned. It's not successful yet. And then the 30-year is doing the same thing. Downward move, momentum to the downside. We're up against this support level, which is the top side of this consolidation here. And we'll see, we'll probably go sideways for a little while on this support. TYX TNX ratio, which is the 30-year and 10-year, I have found that this is a very good correlation to gold. And when this goes up, gold goes up. We're at a very low level. And if and when this goes up, it means the yield curve's uninverting. And we've been moving up today. We were up 0.11%. We had a little bit weaker dollar, a little bit of a tailwind behind gold. Not a huge tailwind, but just a little bit. We've got bond prices up a little bit, 0.3% for bond prices. And if yields continue to go down, bond prices will continue to go up. What that means is that people are going into bonds, lowering yields. Someone's going into bonds, put it that way. The U.S. 2-year 10-year curve, we're right at support, and it's been going up a little bit. So the yield curve is still inverted, and it is staying inverted for the 2 and 10. So gold was up $10 an ounce. It actually looks pretty good. We've got kind of resistance there that we've broken out, and we're starting to run higher. Is this a new trend where we've started and we're just going to continue to head on higher? It looks like that could be the case. Lower yields, lower dollar, higher gold, silver, metals prices. So that looks pretty good. Silver down a teeny bit, but we're right up against resistance. This is kind of a funky looking pattern. We've got a large selling pressure day here, and we've got a consolidation coming up. I think we might have one last spill to the downside before heading higher. And that's that contraction against resistance with a large selling pressure candlestick. So that generally looks like it's consolidating up for one last spill lower. Platinum up 4.6 dollars per ounce. It looks like it still looks good, and the trend's to the upside. We've broken the downtrend here, and it's been trending higher. Palladium down a little bit today, down 2.75%. This is a monster move here. Little consolidation, and we'll see if this thing can consolidate and turn it around. XAU to gold ratio, down 0.43%. Gold and silver mining companies pulling back a little bit more than gold itself. But the momentum is still to the upside and still looks good for gold and silver mining companies to do well. And we have not broken the long-term resistance level that we need to break here. CRB index is up 0.77%. We are reclaiming this lower line, moving on up. This is most likely a false breakdown with a slingshot higher. What is causing this? Probably the oil price, and you might see the oil price move on up. So the CRB index doesn't look too bad. We've got a nice little wick at the bottom here on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see what that looks like, and we're starting to work our way on up. The CRB to S&P 500 up 0.34%. This to me looks like it's trying to bottom and work its way on higher, where commodities are going to start to outperform the S&P 500. So that's looking better. And we'll see if we can break out of this downward sloping channel. GDX up 0.35, not as much as gold, but still hanging in there. GDXJ and SILJ doing the same thing. We are on top of these trend lines, and I'm going to have the mindset that we're going to go higher. And yes, we can get a pullback in the short term for a retest or something, but again, I think we're going to end up working our way higher over time. Crude oil up 2.25%, looking pretty good with the big bullish engulfing. Looks like that's going to trend on higher. This to me looks like a double bottom and a potential bottoming pattern and a break to the upside today of that. Here, I'll put it in here. This is the short term here. The break higher here, and then the retest that we're going on. So we break out, retest, and I think we're going to work our way on up. That's on the very short term 30-minute chart. So that looks good to go higher. We've got TTF gas moving sideways. Momentum's still downward on this. We still have to base out. And then natural gas for Henry Hub down 1.34%. Momentum's definitely to the downside here. And we've got a bullish engulfing here. Small selling pressure. So it looks like we're going to try to go higher. This could have a spill though. This could be a continuation pattern depending on what time frame you're looking at. So we'll see what occurs tomorrow. Big green candlestick, we're going higher. If we punch through the bottom of this trend line here, it could be a continuation with the momentum preceding this move if it overwhelms it. XOP, yeah, you know me, breaking higher today. It looks like we're trying to break through this resistance area right there to the upside. Kind of an inverted head and shoulder deal going on. And maybe we can get some momentum. Now that's a part of a much larger inverted head and shoulders. And if we can break this, guys, we are going to the promised land. It's going to be a big move. And there are individual companies breaking to the upside of their patterns in these ETFs. OIH also moving higher. Looks really good, 2.23%. Again, we had a little bit of a log jam here. And maybe that's kind of like an inverted head and shoulders that we're starting to break to the upside. So that looks pretty good for OIH. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we're still within this little pattern here. Is this squeezing up for a break lower, or are we going to surprise some people and break higher? What camp am I in? It doesn't matter what camp I'm in, guys. I'm a bull. I think it'll go higher. URA continuing to move on up, 1.36%. Momentum's to the upside. Looks fantastic. Same with URNM. Nice candlestick today, finishing strong. It's almost at all-time highs here for URNM. Hold on. We're getting close to all-time highs. We're getting close. And then URNJ also doing okay. We're hanging in there. It's just a small update today. TAN's up 2%, looks good to continue higher. Nice little bullish engulfing. We've got the big green candlesticks, the green army showing up, small selling pressure, looks good to go higher. COPX also moving higher, looks very strong, momentum upside. Lithium, looks like that's strengthening. Look at all the green candlesticks in here and the small red candlesticks. I would be a buyer down here or a move on higher in lithium. That looks good. This is your washout sale. REMX moving on up. Looks fantastic. Green army showing up, small red candlesticks. Looks like we're going higher. S&P 500 continuing to hang on there. It's right at resistance, right kind of at all-time highs here, and we'll see what occurs if we punch through or if we pull back down. NASDAQ is doing the same thing. We're entering almost all-time highs up here, and we'll see which direction it will decide to go. KRE up 1.55%, still looks good to go higher. Still looks good to go higher. This is your double bottom, and we're breaking to the upside. Emerging markets right at support. Slightly higher today, 0.8 with the dollar getting weaker, and I do think that will work its way on up if the dollar and rates continue lower. XHB moving higher. This is our home builders ETF, just ripping all-time highs here. To me, this looks like it's ready to actually rip way higher. I'm talking break for home builders. This is going to be a break to the upside, and it's going to keep going. This is an accumulation cylinder, in my opinion. MU also moving higher, up 0.7%. Still looks good to continue on up. Copper down a little bit, minus 0.06, still above the trend line support, and I think we will continue higher over time. Iron ore down a teeny bit, but again, I think we are going to continue higher because we're not getting the selling pressure for any reversal candlestick yet. So it still looks good to go on up. Aluminum up 3.5%. That seems delayed because that was last Friday. No new update there. Baltic Dry Index moving sideways to slightly higher, and I do think this will work its way on up after it does a retest. It's looking good. Newcastle Coal Futures down 0.5%. Again, I think we're going to work our way on up after this basing is done. Look at natural gas, wait for natural gas to move on up. We could stay down for a little bit, but I think this is a good location to be looking at potential entry points for coal. And I'm seeing some of the coal companies breaking basing patterns to the upside. So I think people are positioning in coal before the futures price. So this looks good to go higher. BTC down 2.33%, getting a little bit of selling pressure, but it's still holding together. This is not a lost cause. It's not necessarily a reversal candlestick. To me, it looks like we're doing some sort of back test. And there's kind of the candlestick there, somewhere in this range there. Looks like it's going to come back and maybe we'll see what occurs tomorrow. Ethereum also looks like a back test, kind of a little bit of selling pressure, but put a wick on the bottom. So it is bouncing off and coming back up momentum-wise towards the end of the day. So it looks like it's still consolidating sideways in the short term. And I just kind of threw that in there. Let me throw a little bit better candlestick in here. There we go. Something on the lines of that. So it looks like to me like it's like a breakout and then a retest. And then I think we're going to go higher in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's what we're seeing today, guys. I think the price action looks good. Crude oil looks strong, and I like it when crude oil is strong because that's where the majority of my holdings are at, energy and energy service. And most other commodities look pretty good. Iron ore looks good. Copper still looks good. A lot of the ETFs look like they're bottoming and starting to come on up. So most everything to me looks pretty good in the markets today. So, yep, that's what we've got. Don't forget the training session on Thursday if you're part of the community. And we have a Sunday question and answer session coming up for Sunday. All right, guys, that's what I've got. We'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.